I was having my daily conversation with God, and He told me something that I really think He wants you to hear. It's time to clock in. And give me your hand because I really think you're going to need it for this one. Look, if we're being honest, waiting is one of the hardest things that God can ask us to do. Because we live in a world where everything is so instant. Instant food, instant information, instant gratification. But God doesn't work on your timeline. He doesn't work on our timelines. And sometimes, more often than not, He will set you in a season where you feel so still. A stillness that feels like it's stretching you so thin. And waiting feels like watching a clock that won't tick. It feels like praying and seeing nothing at all shift. You've sown seeds, you've been faithful, and yet the ground, it still looks dry. You might be asking God, where are you? The book of Habakkuk starts off with a prophet crying out to God saying, "How long, Lord, must I call for help, but you do not listen?" Sounds familiar, doesn't it? But God replies in verse 5, "Look at the nations and watch, be utterly amazed, for I am going to do something in your days that you would not even believe, even if you were told." God was saying, I'm doing something so big, so intricate that even if I explained it, you wouldn't get it. And that's the thing about waiting, is it feels empty, but it's full of activity that you can't see, that your fleshly body just won't understand. Listen to me, just because the seed is buried doesn't mean it's dead. God is growing something underground. It's easy to trust God when doors are flying open, huh? When blessings are pouring in. But what about when it's silent? Faith is not faith if you only trust Him when you see Him moving. True faith is when you wake up to the same struggle, the same thoughts, the same pain, and saying, Lord, I'll still trust you. I'll still serve you. I'll still worship you. Because Hebrews 11:1 says, faith is the confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we do not see. That means faith is built in seasons of nothingness. That's where you become unshakable. Your faith is a weapon. When you can't see movement, you worship anyway. When the answer feels far, you pray louder. And when nothing seems to shift, you stand firm. The enemy wants you to quit because waiting feels like weakness, but waiting is warfare. Need I remind you that God has made you a promise? God has never broken a promise. So if you're in a season where you see no movement going on in your life right now, I need you to remember God's promise to you and trust Him. Do not lean on your own understanding, because that's where the devil will get you. Open the Word, pray, and remember that God is a faithful God. And after this waiting period, you'll see exactly why God made you wait.